Yes, it's great to get on podcasts. Let's say that you get on one podcast a week for the entire year. So now you're on 50 podcasts. That's amazing. That's way more than most companies will do in a lifetime. But now what can you do with those podcasts? So there are thousands and thousands of podcasts that you can be on. I've personally probably been on, I would guess about 50, maybe 50 or plus that are linked to the press pages of my COO Alliance website and my Herold press page. And you can see all those great podcasts I've been on. I've also been covered in magazines and newspapers, like in the actual print editions as well as online editions. And even when, we were building 1-800-GOT-JUNK, we got ourselves onto Oprah and we were on for about a 7-minute episode on Oprah. But it's not about the press that you're generating. It's not about the podcasts that you're getting on. It's what you do with them that really will actually help multiply and scale your company. So here's what I mean. Yes, it's great to get on podcasts. Let's say that you get on one podcast a week for the entire year. So now you're on 50 podcasts. That's amazing. That's way more than most companies will do in a lifetime. But now what can you do with those podcasts? Because those podcasts that you're now on is called earned media. That's media coverage that you get on somebody else's channel. You're going to get exposure to their audience, which is fantastic. But I want you to think about each of those podcast episodes like logs, just individual pieces of wood. You now have 50 logs sitting in a pile. Wouldn't it be cool if you could light the logs on fire? So here's how you light the logs on fire. This is where your owned media comes into play. You're going to put those press pages or press hits, press podcast hits, etc. All the links are going to go on your press page of your website like I've done. Then you can actually share them multiple times a year on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and Twitter, because people won't see the first time you post it. And if they do see it the first time, they'll forget when they see it 3 or 4 months later. So what I like doing is taking every podcast that I'm on and I'll share it 3 to 4 times a year on Facebook, 3 to 4 times a year on LinkedIn, 3 to 4 times a year on Twitter. I will also email it to my entire list once a quarter, along with all the other press that I'm getting. So I'll stack them up and I might send 8 to 10 press links that are on my press page out to my entire email list. So that's how I take the logs and I light them on fire, but we're not done yet. When I was a kid, a teenager, and I know everybody that says you should be on podcasts used to do this too, we used to light the logs on fire and then we pour gas on them. Pouring gas on the logs is called your paid media. So this is a convergence, what I call in my book, Free PR, the digital trifecta of your earned media, your owned media, and paid media. You're going to buy traffic and push them to those links, because when they go to those links, they're going to get pixeled and you'll be able to retarget them using AdRoll or Google's retargeting. But you're actually going to drive more of your audience on your Facebook pages, your LinkedIn pages. You can boost these posts and drive more and more of your audience and new audiences to see that press coverage. And then you're leveraging the social proof. So that's how you really get massive bang for your buck. It's not just by being on the podcast or getting press coverage and getting the other people's audiences. It's also multiplying that with the owned media and the paid media. Hope that's helpful. Try it out. It's huge. I cover it in very big detail in the book that I co-authored with Adrian Salaminovich. And it's in the chapter on the digital trifecta, where paid media meets owned media meets earned media. So stay ahead of the curve as a COO. This next video is packed with great leadership lessons for you. It'll really help you as you continue in your growth.